media format or non-rectangular media formats are not standardized, including the projections. So how you go from a rectangle to a sphere, and or vice versa. And there's, as you've seen, the video presentation is not standardized, and I'll argue that the path to that is unclear. So the current solution involves video to WebGL for the texture, and then WebVR. So it becomes just like any other texture in WebVR app. The app determines and applies the projection. That's kind of app specific, although we can start standardizing that as well. And in the near term, libraries will solve this for developers. So Google has VR View, which is by Boris, who's here. And so that handles all of this for the developer. Just here's my file, and all the JavaScript and WebGL and stuff is done for you. There's a preview of a 2.0 version that works in WebVR, and it also supports Magic Window as well. So regardless of the solution that we solve for native, I believe the prerequisite is standardized media metadata. And we believe that the projection and 3D information should be specified in a container. And so there's several reasons for this. One is that these are properties of the media, just like resolution and bit depth. The media can be understood without an accompanying web app or external metadata. It also avoids the app and media getting out of sync, and avoids us having to duplicate the standardization effort that's going to happen in the containers anyway. It's also codec independent versus some, I believe, codec specific solutions. And so Google has made a proposal here, this GitHub URL, and there's a Google group as well, and would encourage you to read it and participate. It basically, for MP4, it adds new boxes that specify the projection information. And recently added is support for custom projection. So in addition to equirectangular and cube map, you can pretty much do whatever you want, which allows a lot of freedom and experimentation. And if you're interested in this, I highly recommend the Developing VR Media Technologies talk that was given last week at Demuxed. That was given by one of the team members that is working on this specification. So, assuming we have all that figured out, how do we do native presentation? So, first, we're making a big assumption that native support for spherical rendering is desirable. That might be for latency, performance, DRM, or other reasons. Kind of the web platform's built on layers. We already have a solution, so there needs to be a compelling reason that we go standardizing more. And then for any of these solutions, I'm going to assume that metadata has been standardized, like the last slide. That the browser is going to process the metadata and handle all the projection. And then also we want to support all clients, whether you have a headset or not, so Magic Window. So the simplest approach is just put a button on the browser, and it goes to Spherical. One of the issues with this is that you get a video-only experience, and you're going to have custom controls. You can't overlay custom thumbnails, text, or anything like that. So that's it. You kind of just get video. And so over the existing WebVR solution, there's questionable value to going down this route beyond what we already have. And then, of course, you need new APIs just to expose this, like request full screen. So it's not just simply in the user agent. So a more complete approach would be to make the DOM spherical or projectable, such that the video just covers what is the entire page, or whatever we call this sphere. And so there is really nothing special about video anymore. It's just placed in space, and you can place all your other divs and whatever else you want on there to do custom controls, etc. Clearly, this will take longer, but it's much more powerful for authors. Quickly, encrypted media or DRM makes this more difficult. And so you need platform support to protect the textures. You can't just use a plain video surface that assumes it's a rectangle, maybe the entire size of the screen. And so it's going to require support from hardware vendors. And then also media capabilities. So there's effort on a media capabilities API to specify things like, can you do projections, but also can you do 4K? And also, are you keeping up with 4K as a kind of sister project? So this becomes even more important because we're talking about like 4K resolutions on mobile devices. So this is just getting started. There's a kind of a walkthrough and a proposal out there, but this is also on GitHub and it's in the WICG, so get involved. Thanks.